What would you say would be like the warning about being on an island?
Well, so
versus,
I love the story about Oliver Cromwell that he was having his portrait done, and Oliver Cromwell had some warts on his face, and when this artist painted, he thought he was doing a service to Cromwell he left the warts off, and when he showed the finished product, Oliver Cromwell told him, "Take it back and paint me again, warts and all. I know that they're there, so let's be honest about it."
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big things when we don't let people speak honestly to us, when we don't receive that, we do put ourselves on an island. And in those positions where we're lonely, a lot of times the loneliness turns into kind of this self-pity. And so I look at, and I talk about this in shepherd leadership, like look at some great men like David. When did he stumble? When he was by himself. It said all of his guys were out at war and he was by himself. The prophet Elijah, he left his servant behind and he went by himself out into the desert. And then that's when he said to God, "Why don't you just take me home? I'm really not doing anything here." Or Peter, "Jesus, I'll never deny you." And it says all the other disciples said the same thing. But once Peter was all by himself, he crumbled in front of a little servant girl, couldn't even stand up to her. Strong guys, but when they were on an island, when they were by themselves, that's when they crumbled. And so a lot of times when I see leaders that have fallen, when you go back, they were feeling sorry for themselves. You go back a little bit farther, well, that's because you isolated yourself from everybody, and there was nobody there to give you honest feedback. There was nobody there to encourage you. And so, you were setting yourself up for that.
Yeah. And there is that balance, isn't there, with work and life, with projects and friends, having to maybe not share everything that's going on, like this is the next moves, and then if you let it out, everybody knows. It's the gossip, the telephone drill.
Sure.
But I think an island is a warning. It sounds great to be in the Caribbean island in winter, when you have cold weather wherever you live. But I think the challenge we have is how do we make sure we have enough netting that you have friends, strong acquaintances, and that could be family as well in there, that keep you sharp, maybe keep you humble, maybe show you something that we're just not aware of that we're doing or how it affected people. I think the island is a big warning for some of us.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, we've got a couple of links for you in the show notes. You can watch the full episode that this clip came from, and you can also subscribe so that you catch up with all of the episodes of The Craig and Greg Show.